calling all design enthusiasts. Back in 1986, a groundbreaking show debuted on CBS, Designing Women. This brainchild of Linda Bloodworth Thomason, who previously brought us hits like Filthy Rich and Lime Street, took viewers into the fabulous and sometimes chaotic world of four women running an Atlanta design firm. For 7 incredible seasons, Designing Women became a cultural touchstone, tackling social issues and showcasing strong female friendships. Though the series ended in 1993, it continues to be a fan favorite, enjoyed by new generations through reruns and streaming services. So what became of the talented women who brought these characters to life? Let's take a peek at their journeys after the final curtain fell on Designing Women. Mahk Taylor as Anthony Bouvier. Mahk Taylor brought the charming Anthony Bouvier to life on Designing Women. Anthony, a former convict-turned-law student, started as Sugarbaker's delivery guy, eventually becoming a full partner in the firm. He built strong bonds with all his co-workers, but a particularly special connection blossomed with Suzanne over the series. Before captivating audiences as Anthony, Taylor's acting journey began with a national tour of the iconic musical Hair. He then honed his skills at prestigious repertory theaters like Chicago's Goodman Theater, working alongside acting legends like Joe Mantegna and Andre DeShields. Taylor's talents extended beyond the scripted world. In 1996, he hosted The Urban Gardener with Mahk Taylor on HGTV, and later, Mahk Taylor's Hidden Caribbean on the Travel Channel, showcasing his passion for gardening and exploration. He also brought his wit and charm to game shows, becoming a regular panelist on the revamped To Tell the Truth in 2000. He even co-hosted a show called Living Live on Retirement Living TV alongside Florence Henderson. Sadly, Taylor passed away in 2014. Just months before his passing, he even reprised his beloved role of Anthony in a special episode. His friend and fellow actor, Joe Mantegna, directed a special episode of Criminal Minds titled Anonymous in his honor. While best known for Designing Women, Taylor also graced the silver screen in films like Mannequin and its sequel. A devoted family man, Taylor married actress Bianca Ferguson in 1983. Together, they had 3 children, adding to another child from a previous marriage. He was a loving father to daughters Tamar, Esme, and Yasmin, and son Tariq. He leaves behind a legacy of laughter, a loving family, and a place in television history. Dixie Carter as Julia Sugarbaker. The unforgettable Julia Sugarbaker, played by the talented Dixie Carter, was the heart and soul of Sugarbaker and Associates. As the firm's founder and president, Julia embodied elegance and class, but never shied away from speaking her mind. Known for her blunt assessments during design demos, Julia wasn't afraid to take a stand, especially from a feminist and liberal perspective. Her fiery speeches and sharp wit even earned her the nickname, the Terminator. Before captivating audiences as Julia, Carter took her first steps on stage in a 1960 Memphis production of Carousel, alongside the soon-to-be love of her life, George Hearn. New York City beckoned in 1963, where she landed a role in Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale. Carter's final film, That Evening's Sun, filmed with her husband Hal Holbrook, was a poignant exploration of aging and relationships. This 2009 film, based on a short story, premiered at South by Southwest and showcased Carter's enduring talent. Marriage and motherhood played a significant role in Carter's life. She took a break from acting for 8 years to raise her own children alongside her first husband, Arthur Carter's 3 kids. Though their marriage ended in 1977, she found love again that same year with theater and television actor George Hearn, only to divorce 2 years later. In 1996, Carter published an honest memoir titled Trying to Get to Heaven. She openly discussed her life with Hal Holbrook, the iconic Designing Women role, and even addressed her decision to undergo plastic surgery during the show's run. Dixie Carter's legacy extends beyond television. She was a woman who embraced life, spoke her truth, and left a lasting impression on the entertainment industry. Annie Potts as Mary Jo Shively. Annie Potts brought the witty and wonderful Mary Jo Shively to life on Designing Women. Mary Jo, the firm's lead designer, juggled a demanding career with single motherhood, all with a healthy dose of sarcasm and a kind heart. Before becoming a household name on Designing Women, Potts kicked off her career on the big screen in the 1978 comedy Corvette Summer, alongside Mark Hamill. Her talent was quickly recognized, earning her a Golden Globe nomination the following year. In 1982, she won a prestigious Genie Award for Best Performance by a Foreign Actress for her role in the film Heartaches. This powerful performance showcased her range, portraying a young woman caught in a tangled web of love and motherhood. Potts continued to impress audiences throughout her career. In 2013, she nearly landed the lead role in the pilot Murder in Manhattan, a dramedy about a mother-daughter sleuth team. Though the series didn't take flight on network television, it's a testament to her versatility as an actress. That same year, Potts made her dazzling Broadway debut in a revival of the musical Pippin. Stepping into the role of Pippin's grandmother, Berta, she captivated audiences with her comedic timing and stage presence. More recently, from 2017 to 2024, she stole hearts as the beloved Meemaw, Sheldon's sassy grandmother, on the hit sitcom Young Sheldon. A dedicated mother of 3 sons, Annie Potts is a true force in the entertainment industry, captivating audiences on stage and screen for decades. Alice Ghostley as Bernice Clifton. Quirky and scene-stealing Bernice Clifton, played by the phenomenal Alice Ghostley, was a recurring delight on Designing Women, though her appearances were listed as special guest star. Ghostley's career blossomed on Broadway in the early 1950s with New Faces of 1952, and she even graced the big screen with the film adaptation a couple of years later. Early TV audiences might remember her as one of the wicked stepsisters opposite the legendary Julie Andrews in the 1957 musical production of Cinderella. Fun fact: over a decade later, she reunited with her co-star, Kay Ballard, on Ballard's own sitcom, The Mothers-in-Law, this time playing a harried maternity nurse. Ghostley wasn't just a stage presence. She brought her talents to movies like the classic To Kill a Mockingbird and the unforgettable Grease, where she played the memorable Mrs. Murdoch, the shop teacher. She showcased her comedic timing in guest spots on shows like the wacky Car 54 Where Are You? And The Tom Ewell Show. While known for comedic roles, Ghostley was a versatile actress. She earned a Tony nomination for her multifaceted performance in the play The Beauty Part, and later won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in The Sign in Sidney Brustein's Window. Her impressive work on Designing Women even landed her an Emmy nomination. Sadly, the world lost Alice Ghostley in 2007. She leaves behind a legacy of laughter and unforgettable characters. Jean Smart as Charlene Fraser Stillfield. The sweet and sometimes scatterbrained Charlene Fraser Stillfield, played by the talented Jean Smart, brought a touch of Southern charm to Sugarbakers as the office manager. Originally from a bustling family in Missouri, Charlene's naivety and kindness sometimes clashed with the sharp wit of her co-workers. Before captivating audiences on television, Smart honed her craft on stage. She performed in regional theaters across the Pacific Northwest, from Washington to Oregon. Both the prestigious Seattle Repertory Theater and the renowned Oregon Shakespeare Festival saw her talents shine. In the mid-70s, she set her sights on New York City, bringing her skills to off-Broadway and professional regional productions alongside her college friend, Elizabeth Wingate. Smart's impressive career extends beyond Designing Women. In 2021, she co-starred in the heartwarming comedy Senior Moment, and in 2022, she played a pivotal role in Wildflower. That same year, she showcased her versatility in Damien Chazelle's period piece, Babylon, portraying the sharp-tongued gossip columnist Eleanor St. John. Life brought her love on the set of Designing Women, where she met actor Richard Gilland, who played Mary Jo's love interest J.D. Shackelford. They built a life together and raised 2 sons. Sadly, Richard passed away in 2021. Julia Duffy as Allison Sugarbaker. Enter Allison Sugarbaker, played by the fabulous Julia Duffy. She arrived in season 6, shaking things up as Julia and Suzanne's conservative cousin. This sophisticated New Yorker wasn't just visiting. She'd bought Suzanne's shares in Sugarbaker and Associates, becoming a partner. Allison even took over Suzanne's house, much to the dismay of Anthony, who had been renting it. Before joining Designing Women, Duffy made her mark on television with roles in soap operas like Love of Life and One Life to Live. She even landed a starring role as Penny Davis on the series The Doctors from 1973 to 1977. But her talents extended beyond the small screen. In 1978, she took Broadway by storm in the critically acclaimed revival of Once in a Lifetime. Duffy's filmography also boasts supporting roles in films like Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, and Cutter's Way. Interestingly, she even made an appearance on the very first season of Cheers, originally considered for the lead role of Diane Chambers. More recently, in 2016, Duffy returned to the stage in the off-Broadway production of Rancho Viejo, delivering a performance described as hilariously withering by the New York Times. She continues to showcase her comedic talents in plays like The Outsider. In her personal life, Duffy found love with actor Jerry Lacey. Sadly, they lost their son Daniel to suicide in 2019. Despite this tragedy, Julia Duffy remains a force to be reckoned with on both stage and screen. Richard Gilland as J.D. Shackelford. The charming J.D. Shackelford, played by the late Richard Gilland, stole Mary Jo's heart as her boyfriend for the first 5 seasons of Designing Women. J.D. was a talent scout for the Atlanta Braves, proving his passion extended beyond the Sugarbaker design world. Born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, Richard's love for performing started early. He actively participated in plays and musicals throughout high school. He pursued his passion further at the University of Kansas before transferring to the prestigious Goodman School of Drama in Chicago. Driven by his desire to act, he left school in his final year to join the Chicago Free Street Theater. This led him to a role in the hit musical Godspell, where he began as a disciple and eventually landed the lead. In 1973, Richard made the move to Los Angeles, where his career continued to flourish. He not only found love with his Designing Women co-star Jean Smart in 1987, but they also built a beautiful family together, welcoming 2 sons, Connor and Forrest. Beyond Designing Women, audiences might recognize Richard from his roles on shows like The Unit and 24. He even had a recurring role on Matlock. Sadly, Richard passed away in 2021 after a brief illness. Jan Hooks as Carleen Fraser Dauber. Jan Hooks portrayed the role of Carleen Fraser Dauber, Charlene's innocent younger sister from Poplar Bluff, Missouri, in seasons 6 and 7 of the show. Carleen, who had recently divorced her car salesman husband, Dwayne Dauber, found a job as a receptionist at Sugarbaker's. Prior to her work on the show, Hooks honed her comedic skills as a member of the esteemed comedy troupe, The Groundlings, in Los Angeles, and through her involvement with an Atlanta nightclub act known as the Wits End Players. In the early 1980s, she appeared on Ted Turner's television station, WTBS, later known as TBS, in a show called Tush from 1980 to 1981. Her comedic talent was further recognized through her appearances on HBO's Not Necessarily the News and guest spots on Comedy Break with Mac and Jamie in the mid-1880s. Hooks made her big screen debut in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as a knowledgeable tour guide at the Alamo, and she also appeared in the Goldie Hawn film Wildcats. While she continued to take on supporting roles and guest appearances, her acting work became less frequent over time. Notably, Hooks earned an Emmy Award nomination for her recurring role as Vicky Dubček on the popular show Third Rock from the Sun. She also lent her voice talent to two Matt Groening-produced cartoons for Fox, appearing in 6 episodes of The Simpsons between 1997 and 2002. Despite her doctor's advice to quit drinking due to liver damage, Hooks did not attempt to stop. In February 2009, she received a leukemia diagnosis, which was successfully treated and went into remission by May of that year. However, in April 2014, Hooks discovered a concerning bump on her throat. After undergoing a biopsy and receiving treatment at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, it was found that the tumor was resistant to chemotherapy and continued to grow. Faced with the option of a total laryngectomy as the only remaining treatment, Hooks chose to decline the procedure. Instead, she opted for hospice care and managed her pain with prescription medication, wine, and cigarettes. Unfortunately, her condition worsened, affecting her ability to speak, eat, and breathe. On October 9th, Jan Hooks passed away at the age of 57, succumbing to throat cancer. Judith Ivy as B.J. Poteet. Meet Judith Ivy, who brought Bonnie Jean B.J. Poteet to life. B.J., a vivacious and quick-witted Texan with a hefty bank account, joined Sugarbaker and Associates after Allison cashed out. Her late husband, James Poteet, a business titan, tragically suffered a heart attack at their wedding reception, leaving B.J. in charge of his Atlanta-based company, Poteet Industries. But Ivy's a powerhouse beyond B.J. She snagged 2 Tony Awards for Best Featured Actress in a Play, one for Steaming in 1983 and another for Hurly-Burly in 1985. She also received nominations for Park Your Car in Harvard Yard in 1992 and a revival of The Heiress in 2013. Broadway stages have seen her shine in plays like Piaf, Bedroom Farce, Blithe Spirit, Voices in the Dark, and Follies. She played Amanda in The Glass Menagerie at the Long Wharf Theater, then brought the character back to life at the Roundabout Theater in New York and the Mahk Taylor Forum in Los Angeles. This stunning portrayal even earned her the Lucille Lortel Award for Best Actress. Ivy brought Ann Landers to life in the solo show The Lady with All the Answers, off-Broadway. This captivating performance garnered nominations for both the Lucille Lortel Award and the Drama Desk Award for Best Solo Performance. In 2016, she returned to the Cherry Lane Theater, captivating audiences alongside Estelle Parsons in Israel Horowitz's play Out of the Mouths of Babes, directed by Barnett Kellman. And let's not forget her voice acting as Eleanor Sherman in the animated series The Critic. She's also ventured into television miniseries, appearing in Stephen King's Rose Red as Kathy, one of the psychics investigating a spooky house. Ivy was previously married to actor Ricardo Gutierrez. They divorced before her move to New York. Now she's happily married to Tim Brain, and together they have a beautiful family with 2 children. Hal Holbrook as Reese Watson. Hal Holbrook portrayed Reese Watson, Julia's love interest, in seasons 1 through 4. Watson is a widowed, successful Atlanta attorney. Holbrook's debut solo performance as Twain occurred in 1954 at Lock Haven State Teachers College in Pennsylvania. His talent caught the eye of Ed Sullivan, who featured the 31-year-old Holbrook on The Ed Sullivan Show on February 12, 1956, launching his national career. From 1941 to 1962, Holbrook was an integral part of the Valley Players, a summer stock theater troupe based in Holyoke, Massachusetts. They performed at the Mountain Park Casino Playhouse within Mountain Park. In 2016, Holbrook secured the role of Red Hudmore and appeared in the final season of Bones on January 17, 2017. He showcased his versatility by guest starring on Grey's Anatomy on March 23, 2017, playing a retired thoracic surgeon, and later in the year, he appeared on Hawaii 5-0. September 2017 marked a significant turning point in Holbrook's career when he announced his retirement from playing Mark Twain after 6 decades. However, he expressed his desire to continue working in films and television. In October 2016, Holbrook penned a letter to the New York Times, sparking controversy. He defended actor and director Nate Parker regarding his involvement in a 1999 rape case and the ensuing backlash surrounding Parker's film, The Birth of a Nation. Holbrook encouraged people to move past Parker's history and focus on the film's artistic merit and its important portrayal of American history. Holbrook, a man of strong political convictions, criticized then-Republican candidate Donald Trump in 2016 for lacking the maturity to lead the country. Conversely, he praised Senator Bernie Sanders for his honesty and authenticity. Sadly, Holbrook passed away at his Beverly Hills home on January 23, 2021, at the age of 95. Scott Bakula as Dr. Ted Shively. Scott Bakula portrayed Ted Shively, Mary Jo's ex-spouse, and a gynecologist during seasons 1 and 2. Bakula relocated to New York City in the year 1976, marking the beginning of his professional journey. His debut came in the 1977 national tour of the musical Shenandoah. The year 1982 saw his first appearance on Broadway, taking on the role of an understudy in the short-lived musical query, Is There Life After High School? In the subsequent year, he embodied baseball icon Joe DiMaggio in Marilyn: An American Fable, which unfortunately only had 17 performances. For his role in the 1985 off-Broadway production of Three Guys Naked from the Waist Down, he earned a shared nomination for the prestigious Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Ensemble Acting. He would go on to reprise this role in the Pasadena Playhouse production. The year 2016 marked Bakula's guest judging stint on the HGTV program Brothers Take New Orleans, alongside the renowned Property brothers Jonathan and Drew Scott. He even made a cameo as himself in the season 12 premiere episode of the beloved comedy series It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. As of October 2023, there is exciting news that Bakula is set to grace the New York stage once more in the world premiere of the musical The Connector. This production boasts music and lyrics crafted by the talented Jason Robert Brown and a book by Jonathan Mark Sherman under the direction of Daisy Prince. The Connector is scheduled to run at the MCC Theater from January 12, 2024 to March 17th. Following this, Bakula is poised to take on the iconic role of Don Quixote in Man of La Mancha in a production based in Peterborough, New Hampshire, in August 2024. On a personal note, Bakula's marital history includes his marriage to Krista Newman in 1981, with whom he had 2 children before their divorce in 1995. He later wedded actress Chelsea Field in 2009, following a 15-year committed relationship, and together they share 2 children. Bakula reflected on his experience, stating that he was hardly ever home for 4.5 seasons during his time on Quantum Leap, and as a result, he consciously chose to prioritize his family life in his subsequent endeavors. Olivia Brown as Vanessa Hargraves. Olivia Brown portrayed Vanessa Hargraves, Anthony's girlfriend, in Season 4. Brown's early life began in Frankfurt, West Germany, but her upbringing primarily took place in Sacramento, California, where she attended C.K. McClatchy High School. Upon graduating, she secured a scholarship to the esteemed Parsons School of Design in New York. However, due to her strong family ties, Brown opted to remain closer to her loved ones and enrolled at Sacramento City College, followed by Sacramento State College. Brown's introduction to the big screen came in the form of a supporting role in the 1982 action comedy film 48 Hours. She continued to build her cinematic resume with appearances in Streets of Fire, 1984, Throw Mama from the Train, 1987, Identity Crisis, 1989, Man's Best Friend, 1993, and All Tied Up, 1994. From 1984 to 1989, Brown showcased her versatility by starring as Detective Trudy Joplin in the NBC crime drama series Miami Vice. On a personal note, Brown was married to Mykelti Williamson from 1983 to 1985. Following their divorce, she found love again and is currently married to James Okonkwo, with whom she shares 2 children. An interesting tidbit is that Brown shared a dining experience with actor Bruce Willis on June 16, 1987. Additionally, her brother, Steve Brown, pursued a career in professional sports, playing for the Houston Oilers of the NFL during the late 1980s. Cheryl Lee Ralph as Etienne Toussaint Bouvier. Cheryl Lee Ralph, who played Etienne Toussaint Bouvier in Season 7 of the show, was a showgirl that Anthony married after encountering her performance at the Tropicana Las Vegas. Ralph commenced her career in the 1970s, taking the stage in Sidney Poitier's 1977 American crime comedy film, A Piece of the Action. She also made a number of appearances on television programs such as Good Times, Wonder Woman, and The Jeffersons. Ralph then took on a role in the Broadway production Reggae in 1980 before dazzling audiences as Dina Jones in the original Broadway musical Dreamgirls the following year. Simultaneously, she joined the cast of the CBS daytime soap opera Search for Tomorrow while still performing in Dreamgirls on Broadway. Her exceptional performance in Dreamgirls earned her a Tony Award nomination for Best Actress in a Musical in 1982. The year 2023 marked a memorable moment for Ralph as she delivered a powerful performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing, also revered as the Black National Anthem, during the Super Bowl 57 pre-show. Later that year, she broke new ground by becoming the inaugural celebrity and black individual to portray Mrs. Claus in the historic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. In 2024, Ralph demonstrated her support for political causes by attending a substantial fundraiser for President Joe Biden's re-election campaign. Prior to this, she had joined forces with Vice President Kamala Harris at an abortion-related campaign event in Pennsylvania. Ralph's personal life includes 2 marriages. She was previously wed to French businessman Eric Maurice from 1990 to 2001, and they share 2 children, a son born in 1992 and a daughter born in 1995. She found love again and has been married to Pennsylvania State Senator Vincent Hughes since July 30, 2005. Honors bestowed upon Ralph include her induction as an honorary member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority in July 2004 during their 47th National Convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. In May 2008, Tougaloo College presented Ralph with an honorary doctorate of humane letters, recognizing her achievements and the inspiring commencement address she delivered to their graduating class. Delta Burke as Suzanne Sugarbaker. Playing the role of Suzanne Sugarbaker, Julia's younger sister and a silent investor in their design firm, was Delta Burke. Suzanne, a past beauty queen who once graced the halls of Ole Miss, is all about herself and her appearance. Compared to her sister's progressive views, Suzanne leans more towards a relaxed and traditional approach to life. Interestingly, she seems to have a knack for attracting wealthy men, but with the unfortunate downside of them being terminally ill, a trend that's followed her through 3 divorces. Speaking of beauty queens, Burke herself held the title of Miss Florida in 1974. This even landed her a fun appearance on Bozo the Clown that year. Years later, in 2001, NFL Films unearthed footage of her Miss Florida days during the World Bowl, filmed by Louis Bice. After her Designing Women run, Burke got her own sitcom in 1992 called Delta. In this show, she played a woman chasing her dreams of becoming a country music star. The role even inspired her to go blonde. Sadly, the ratings weren't meant to last, and Burke eventually returned to her brunette locks. Unfortunately, Delta only lasted a season. However, 1995 brought reconciliation with show creator Linda Bloodworth Thomason, leading to Burke reprising her role as Suzanne in the spin-off Women of the House. Despite the reunion, this show too met a swift cancellation. Burke's acting credits extend beyond sitcoms. She graced our screens with the channel movie Bridal Fever, 2008, and even landed in the ABC comedy Culture in 2012. However, an on-set accident put production on hold, ultimately leading to the show's cancellation. Off-screen, Burke found love and married actor Gerald McRaney in 1989. While they don't have children together, McRaney brings adult children from previous marriages to the family. Additionally, Burke has bravely faced a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. Beyond acting, Burke showcases her creative side through her clothing company, Delta Burke Design, headquartered in New York City. They're not just about fashion, though. Burke and McRaney are also the proud owners of an antique store in Collins, Mississippi. These talented women brought so much laughter, heart, and important conversations to our screens. It's amazing to see how much they've accomplished and how their lives have unfolded. Whether they're still gracing our screens, designing clothes, running antique stores, or simply enjoying life, it's clear these women continue to live vibrant lives. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more blasts from the past.